When you are buying your first proper chef's knife, there's actually a lot to think about. The size, steel, balance, handle shape, and the profile of the blade. But the important thing is, there's no single right answer for everyone. It all depends on your personal taste and how you actually cut. 13 years ago, when I first started cooking, my senior advised me, buy a knife that fits your habits. Back then, I had no idea what that even meant. I couldn't tell what kind of knife matched with my habits. Over time, as I gained experience and started learning how to make knives myself, I built my own standard. So today, I will quickly go through the key factor to help you find a knife that truly fits you. Next time you buy one, you will make much smarter choice. But before we get too deep into it, let me give you the quick answer. The most people are happiest with two 10mm chef's knives that's well balanced. Alright, let's get into it. The first thing most people look at is the material, but once you dig into it, it gets complicated fast. So let's keep it simple. Go for high carbon stainless steel. Unless you already have years of experience, don't even think about carbon steel knives yet. They are great, but they are expensive and require more care. Some common steels: 440C, VG10, X50 CR MOV15, and AUS10. These high carbon stainless steel have a good balance between rust resistance and edge retention. Even if two knives use the same steel, their price can be very different. That's because performance depends on heat treatment and forging. Forging increases the density of the steel, which helps the edge stay sharp longer. Heat treatment is also extremely important. The knife's strength depends on the balance between hardness and toughness. But here's the thing, those two quality works opposite to each other. If it's too hard, not tough, it chips easily. If it's tough but not hard, it dulls quickly. That's a deep topic, so we will stop there for now. Premium knives often show a hardness rating, written as HRC. That stands for Rockwell hardness. If you are looking for a professional grade knife, go for 58 to 62 HRC. 58 HRC is roughly starting point for pro knives. For premium home use, 56 to 60 HRC is perfect. And just so you know, even a difference of 1 point in hardness is a big deal. Profile and balance, these two always go together because they are the key factor connected to your cutting habits. The profile simply means the shape of the blade. Chef's knives, slicer, each has different purpose. So you can use different shape for the same task. But using the right one makes your work a lot easier. Now for balance. The shape of the blade and the balance of the knife affect how tired your hands feel while you're cutting. So let's look at the main cutting style. Rocking cut. This is where you keep the tip of the knife on the board and rock the knife back and forth as you cut. If that's your habit, a French style knife is great fit. It has a higher tip so you can lift the handle comfortably, and the weight near the handle helps you cut with momentum. Just don't chop straight down. Try rocking the blade slightly forth and back to reduce damage to the ingredients. Keep in mind though, a knife optimized for this motion might feel a bit awkward with other cutting style. Push cut. This is the way most Japanese chefs cut. You push the knife forward using the full length of the blade to slice through the ingredients. Because it applies less pressure, it keeps texture clean and ingredients intact. For this, I recommend a Japanese gyuto with gentle curve. It's balanced in the middle, so it's easy to control. A straight blade also works, but it takes more skills to get used to. Chopping. This one uses the knife's own weight to cut. Knives like a nakiri or Chinese cleaver, which have nearly straight edge, are perfect for this. The center of gravity is at the blade, so the weight does most of the work. It allows for fast, efficient chopping without large arm movement. The downside is that it puts more pressure on the ingredients. Drag cut. Here, the tip of the knife stays on the board and you pull the blade back through the ingredients. This is useful for things that stick on the blade, like slicing or julienning potatoes. As long as the knife has the sharp and narrow tip, almost any knife can do this. But if the tip is too high, like on a French knife, it's hard to keep the pressure consistent. These are the 4 main cutting habits I've identified. Figure out which one feels most natural to you. Then choose a knife profile that matches it. If you use a mix of all 4, a gyuto is the best all-around option. Length. The right knife length depends on your workspace and how much food you usually prepare at once. For general all-purpose use, 210 to 240mm chef's knives are most practical. If you want a smaller, more precise knife, 180 to 210mm bunka knives work great. For secondary knife, 140 to 160mm petty or paring knife are ideal. The key is choosing a length you can comfortably control without strain. Handle shape. A handle isn't just about looks. It directly affects comfort and safety during long use. Common shapes are round, octagonal, square, and the Japanese style D shape. For home use, you don't have to overthink it. But for professional, it's worth considering. When your hands get sweaty or covered with food, a non-slippery handle makes a huge difference. Personally, I prefer octagonal handle the most. Then square, then D-shape, round handle tend to slip more. So you have to keep your grip tight, which causes hand fatigue. People often ask me which brand is the best, but brand is the last thing you should think about. Even within one brand, each knife has different traits and balance. What really matters is developing the ability to tell what kind of knife you need and which one truly fits you. These days, there's too much information out there. Someone say Damascus is the best, others say only Japanese knives are worth buying. But in the end, there's no perfect knife. The best knife is the one you are happy to buy and love to use. If this video helped you, please like and subscribe. I'll see you next time with more practical and in-depth knife talk.